Here, we do what others don't.
Dream what others won't, driven to leap forward, determined to always give back.
Here, we work where giants have played, where the connection of work and ethic is made.
A diverse community possessed with a passion
To know and grow and go and show the world we are prepared to change it. Here, we ask what must be done, for in doing we learn and earn success.
and you can get there from here.
DePaul University. Here, we do.
We're sorry to take you away from that Siena ad, but we are going to see Siena on your screen. They're going up against the undefeated DePaul in the EGF Power Series. I'm Wes Rambo, joined by Worst, and we have just seen definitely a better look from the squad of Quinnipiac up against Marquette there. But now we see a match that could be another one-sided one because DePaul has made most of their matches one-sided so far, Worst.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a new look for me as well, as I'm a lot bluer than last time. I actually have no idea because I didn't change anything. My camera has decided that I am underwater. Very interesting, that one. But we're gonna see what DePaul. I'm kind of matching DePaul. Maybe it's like thinking, oh, you know what you're gonna pred? You're gonna pred DePaul, so we're gonna keep it like this. I will pred DePaul for this one. They have been looking absolutely fantastic. Last prelim, they looked amazing, and they've kept up that consistency into this prelim as well. And we're going to go to Icebox. This is kind of a map that has been very controversial in the community in terms of its similarity from match to match in terms of how the attackers play it out. And I cannot agree more with them. Even with the recent changes, I think it's actually made Icebox worse somehow. I did not know that was possible, right? You made one of the worst maps in FPS or attack FPS history, and you made it worse. That's a bit crazy. It's a bit wild, a bit wacky, if you will. But not to say it hasn't produced amazing matches. I mean, it definitely has, but still a rough map nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I will say I gotta go with the other side just to, you know, get, you know, represent the Icebox lovers in the chat, but I low-key do agree with you. But Icebox definitely with the changes and also with the likes of Chamber entering the map pool, I think has kind of gotten a bit of a revitalization, knowing that you can use just this Viper as your controller. You don't need another smoker. You can cut off plenty without that. You introduce Chamber and that extra firepower into rounds. Which gun you're holding also changes the shape of the map in a way, right? Because it changes what you're allowed to peek, what you're allowed to go for, what you're allowed to, you know, consider in terms of your strategy. And so, you know, it's one of those things, same thing with Bind, the more limitation you get, the more innovation becomes available to a certain extent. So hopefully these teams can show us something interesting. As you say, even though Icebox itself may have stagnated, the gameplay on it to some extent has still delivered some exciting moments, and we're hoping to see that here out of Siena and DePaul. DePaul will be starting on the defensive side right now, and there are some very good players over here on DePaul. You know, it's just firepower all the way across the board, but in particular, I'm looking at Ghosty, I'm looking at Jelly as some very impressive fraggers over on this side. Could show us something incredible over on Siena College. Something that I remember casting from Siena was Pango on Icebox on this Chamber, doing absolutely ridiculous things with the Chamber, with the Headhunter. There were some clutches that I could barely even, well, I just couldn't find the words. They were so good. So keep an eye on Pango here on Icebox for Siena. They're going to start over on the attack side, and we're going to see exactly what you're talking about. How will this B-site, how will these B-site changes change the way that these two teams approach this? In this round, we may not see that, as it's more of a default here from Siena.
Yeah, and we are going to be seeing how this default ends up playing out. Looks like the wall here for Pop Smoke is a B ending wall. It's not always you have to commit to it, but typically you want to be throwing it out early to give some pressure over the enemy team. So this is definitely an option for us. And the wall here for DePaul is actually going to be like an A wall, and so not really prepared for this B take in the slide. It's going to be on Nisei to really shut this down, Sheriff in hand. And if that can happen, if Nisei can pop off from this yellow position, it's somehow an even stronger defensive position now for these defenders.
Nisei getting the headshot already. Ray goes down, and they are going to back off right off of that. Worst, it's going to be the presence in mid that tries to be the linchpin here, and there's Loki going for it, but Jelly turns around, gets him with the classic, just a little bit off for Loki on the aim, but that gives Siena College the option. They can go straight to A. It's left open now with the rotations. All they need is the plant, but Ghosty denies even that. Pop Smoke can't get close yet. I'll see you now going to plant, but it's a 4 versus 2 retake situation here, and both these players are tucked very deep into the site, not able to get much out of their positioning. Pango finding 1 and 2 on the round, but it's Dinosaur going in. OCU alone. Nisei having recovered that Sheriff to punish, and DePaul get the round without too much trouble in the end.
Yep, and DePaul gonna end that up. Was a little dangerous at the beginning, but with the A ending, they have the resources and the aim to end up winning out the round, and now setting themselves up for a good start to this Icebox half on the defensive side. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what developments have been made by teams on Icebox on attack, what changes have been made. It's not exactly the same as it was before, where you just did the same thing every single time attacking B or A, but it's still in a similar vein, so I'm going to be seeing if they've copied that over with slight adjustments, or if they are just doing the same bog standard thing without actually adjusting for anything.
Well, especially with B, right? You know, we're seeing this Viper wall come down, try to do something against this, and 2 players up close for the defenders on B. Pango, this is the 3rd kill for Pango, and I told you he was good on this map. Nisei, though, equally impressive with a headshot there, the Sheriff. Forward, and Ghosty as well, showing that Pango's Headhunter is not the only one in the server right now. But Gray is still tucked in. Have they spotted him? Gray spots one out, but I think Nisei's wise to it. And yeah, Gray does have to back off. A 4 versus 2 now as Loki was taken down as the lurk player on A. You know what they say about duelists lurking, but Ghosty, no! All the kills still comes through for Ghosty. Pango doesn't get the crosshair in the right spot, and Ghosty gets another one for his troubles too. Just a series of unfortunate events all the way around. We can just forget about that round, move on, you know, erase it from the annals of history.
Yeah, erase that one indeed, and they are going to be it's a little bit of a wacky turn of events, but now it's time for bonus. Can DePaul bring this out? They've been a strong team this entire time. Can they prove that on the bonus as well? Not in their favor, but still definitely doable. A full Vandal lineup here from Siena, and only Gray is suffering from half armor, so a really good buy for them, but so far only Pango's on the board. Can someone else manage to put themselves in on the scoreboard, or is it going to continue to be the Pango show?
Yeah, we'll see. It definitely was the Pango show last time I casted them on this map, but you do need more than one player to be popping off, and they are going to work their way slowly towards B. 2 toxic screens are here in very similar positions. Nisei already finding Loki is actually quite a big deal. High key, because that's going to already deny their ability to get that jet dash into sight. Still, soldier on with the Vandals. Nisei's trying to look up top of the wall. Jelly's going to break this wall, but OCU will plant easily because that Marshall is not the gun you want in that situation. Plant goes down, and yeah, we see it. Just 3 players behind yellow, 1 player playing back closer to main. And this is a tale as old as time on Icebox. Look at that Sage wall. It's, you know, just like we always see, and they have to push through onto yellow. Sago spots the foot, but Pango's better for the aim. Jelly to trade for that one, and the defuse starts to come forward. Smoke to get 1. There's the snake bite to get another, and Jelly has to do more, and he does. That's going to be DePaul clearing out that yellow defense, and Siena College fall 0-3.
Yeah, gonna be falling 0-3 right there, and now how can DePaul keep this up? A lot of the resets have come through in terms of their guns being gone, so should be buying up, should be getting those Vandals in their hands, and that it is. So I will be incredibly sort of looking towards Siena's attacking side on A, perhaps, where they want to swap this up, right? They've been getting shut down on B, particularly around yellow, and then in those post-plant situations have not been able to eliminate that yellow position from being a power position. So now do they start moving towards A? Maybe we see some mid stuff. Typically, you don't see mid on Icebox. Maybe some for that reason from low-key, but also because it's just a very hard position to get value out of. You kind of just get stuck there, and you get bogged down there a lot, so it's not really considered a place you want to go.
Pango had his crosshair in the right spot, but Ghosty was quicker on the trigger. Headshot there. Give DePaul the 5-3 lead, and Nisei continues to push forward. It's actually both Nisei and Sago, and they're not even going to be able to get their flank on board because it's the flawless round. The defenders all holding strong. Siena with the 0-4, and I mentioned anything against DePaul in this particular group might turn out kind of quick. They are easily favored to get out of this group in first place, and definitely want their shot to play against the likes of Butler Club, who eliminated them from the first prelim.
Yeah. Obviously, that's the goal. Getting those rematches against teams like Butler, and so far they've been taking care of business here in the group stages to get that. They want that rematch so bad. They want to play up against another bracket. They're looking for it, and that's definitely on the cards. Sago taking out OCU, and should be more of the same. We're just kind of running out here on A. We're not flashing. We don't really have that many, we only have KO flash. We're not even KO flashing. We're not cloud bursting and the jet dashing. We're not updrafting. We're not doing anything to help support our players that are jumping out here on Cat, and it really is showing in terms of they're just not winning about aid duels. How do you change it up? You have to supplement it with utility.
Trades do start to come through, but it's far in favor of the defenders. As you say, it's a little bit of dry peeking happening here, and Low-Key is the only player remaining. There's the dash, and Low-Key does punish that. Little too loud there, Nisei. Jet, has to be said, not the most subtle agent, but Low-Key will be revealed by the recon dart. Ghosty easily punishes that, and still a pretty comfortable round for DePaul, and that was a gun round. So Siena presumably back onto a save, and they are just, really in dire straits here on Icebox. You need to start stacking up those rounds. You need to be at least getting spike plants, and their economy is so rough. They can buy next round when they save here. They have just a fine buy, but without those plants, you just don't have the option to force up here.
Yeah, and we're getting into the cycle of misery for the attacking team where you're just buying into having to save, into buying and having to save. It's just an economic depression right now for Siena. They're trying to buy their way out of it, but getting shut down at every turn by DePaul, and they're not giving anything here except for Pango. Once again, Pango being that, getting the kills on the board for them, getting those opening picks, but it doesn't matter if Ghosty just shuts you down here in mid. Does have the rendezvous, if anything, does get a little bit too antsy. Suppression's gonna come out, so they're gonna get out of there, but Sago hits the flank, and they're just not expecting it. Tube might just be a death trap now.
Pango, like you say, the only one who's really showing any signs of life right now for Siena. You need more than that, as we've said. Low-Key now with the classic. Might recover this gun. That definitely could be something beneficial, but now it's being watched. I think they know this is a possibility. The right clicks will come in. They're not on point, and Ghosty gets them to 6-0 with DePaul having 4 players remaining. It's dire straits. Yeah, it's the cycle of misery for sure. That's an evocative term, and it really describes this well. You just mentally and in game you just feel broken.
Yeah, you feel like you never can get out of it either, right? Even when you get on good rounds and then you lose them, you're just like, oh, back to this again. I'm never having any ability to do anything. And even if they win a round, I mean, look at DePaul's economy. It's never even close to breaking. They are just completely secure in terms of their backlog. And even with the res, they're still down. How bad does that feel? Instant res?
Yeah.
Still down person.
Nisei with a horrific shot there onto Pango. So deadly here on this position. Jelly's going to go for the snake bite. That one doesn't land quite in time. Su takes a little damage, but they have gotten a plant down. Still a 4 versus 2. Jelly just commits the Viper's Pit just to guarantee this one. They want that 13-0 right now. Here comes the fragment to try to dissuade them, and Low-Key as well with the kill, but they need to get Ghosty on this flank, and, Jelly on the flank, and Ghosty already finds the kill. Ghosty just does it all on his own, man. That is horrifying there to face up against Nisei's off on that position. We haven't seen Nisei come alive that much in this game just yet because he hasn't been called upon, really. But when he is ready and willing to come through. So Siena, still no round on the board.
Yep. And I'm feeling bad right now for Siena. It's like going up against this Titan, you know? Yeah. And there's nothing anyone can do to stop DePaul currently in this group stage. 4-0 for a reason, looking to be 5-0 if this map goes their way, and then next they play against Marquette, who's been giving them that the biggest problems here for second. But what can you do when Nisei's doing that to your team?
Switching back and forth between sites, now just aggressively peeking out there. Teleport comes in, Pango has heard that, and Nisei just has such good awareness right now. Knows about that possibility, covered by his teammates. He's being set up for success as well. It's not just Nisei doing it all alone. That's the difference, because Pango is aiming really well as well, but he's not quite being set up enough. But nice shot there by Loki. Trying to make a little... some problems here for DePaul, and Siena does have some sort of chance, I was going to say, but now it's Gray by himself and backs up, but not fast enough. There's Jelly with the flank. 8-0 for DePaul.
Yep. 8-0 for DePaul. Looks like it's not stopping anytime soon. They are just in complete control of this game, no matter what. Nisei has been a thorn in their side the entire time, right? They are just swapping back A to B, A to B, A to B, and yeah, just Siena, no matter what, is just getting shut down by this operator. And then even if it's not Nisei, it's like Sago or Ghosty or whoever, really. Like, they're just showing up on flanks. They're just winning aim duels. And a lot of the time, it's like, you're looking at this and you're like, oh, they don't have that many kills. Look at just 2 people getting them. It's like, those players can frag. They just haven't needed to. Like, you don't need to frag when it's Nisei and Ghosty just shutting you down every single moment of the day.
Yeah, and look at that. The spike now has been left. And so Nisei can see the spike from this position. An uncharacteristic miss, actually, right there for this round. And they have recovered that spike. So now 4 versus 3. This is, you know, it hurts to say it, but this is one of the best chances Siena College has had so far. They get a chance to regroup and reposition in a 3 versus 4 situation. Try to find their way onto a site. Looks like they're leaning towards B, which... or they will run into considerably more resistance here, and Ghosty is so prepared for this.
2v4 was their best shot, looking even worse and worse for wear.
Pango is deep in behind enemy lines here. Gray can find a way out of this and somehow get Jelly here. I don't know how that didn't hit, but no. Gray is not ready for it, and it's only Pango now. Now, I have seen Pango do this. Unironically, I've seen him win these, okay? But it is very unlikely, it has to be said. The Root of Force is available. The Headhunter is available. And they're all... Look at DePaul. They're just all tucked in attacker spawn.
But, like, I mean... you may have seen them do it, but you haven't seen them do it against DePaul. That's all I'm going to say. 10 seconds.
Absolutely, and not with 10 seconds. So this is just going to be the attempt to maybe try to recover Nisei's op if Pango can find it. And actually, Pango didn't see him, and so yeah, not even that's going to be recovered. Nisei misses. This is going a little haywire. Ooh, that's the aim I'm talking about. But of course, yeah, there was no chance for Pango to actually win that round. So instead, commits to tour de force here on this gun round, and you have to say this is Siena's last chance to even have a chance of being in this game.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be their last chance. They are... I mean, if they go down 12-0 at the half, it's just like the pistol is all you need to win, right? You just need one round, and that is ultimate nightmare fuel. Like 12 down, 0 to DePaul, and you're just like, man, I have nothing to do.
And then you have to defend on Icebox against Nisei.
Yeah, Nisei just go, you know?
Oh, man, already
not even Toy Force can stop him.
Yeah, exactly.
Mind,
although Loki goes for the peak, and yeah, Nisei probably got a little overzealous there, but they can afford to do so. Absolutely. Right now, Dinosaur puts a little damage down with the Hunter's Fury, but not a lot. 3 versus 3, so... said Siena needs this right here if they even have a chance, and their best look so far. in quite a few rounds. Low-key to find another. So these two defenders are covering the spike right now. You need to just win gunfights. The flash is there, but also you peeks before it happens.
I mean,
you gotta shore that up.
You can't even win this round. I mean, it is all looking good. It's just not.
Low-key had the flank. They could have waited. There's lots of time in the round, but now Ghosty is ready for this because he realizes Loki wasn't with the teammates. Loki's got a bunch of kills on the round, but you need some very good shots from this position. 20 seconds left. Whereas now Loki can't even get into position. Needs these 2 kills. They could just run away and the round is pretty much over.
Yep, round pretty much over. Even if you do win a duel here against the Viper.
You need both kills.
You need both kills.
Peek out.
You need both kills in 5 seconds, and look at where Chamber was running.
Yeah.
Even if you get that kill, Chamber was gone. So no way to win that situation there, and that was the best chance we've seen for Siena to win a round and not able to capitalize. And now DePaul is looking like they are just going to 12-0 this round and potentially just win pistol after. That is looking like an absolute domination here from DePaul.
It's feeling the heat, right? Because there was the combination of Gray and Osiu peeking in, trying to get control of that area with the spike. Gray has the flash ready to go. Osiu swings before the flash is thrown, and then Osiu goes down, and Gray has to 1v2 while Loki's still trying to flank.
Get out of my way!
And it's just the pressure getting to them, clearly, you know? No kills on the board for either of those players, and, you know, I've casted them before. They're definitely better than they're showing right now, but it seems like Paul are really getting into their heads. Here's Sago now trying to defend. Does well to even get a headshot through there, but Gray to trade. They get into A site, and Paul chooses to, for the most part, play retake. No, Nisei tries to get in close. Pango does trade that, so good job for Siena. This is a nice hit. But Pango over peaks, and Dinosaur finds the kill. 2 versus 1. 2 versus 3, and Pop Smoke is here on a shorty only in the Viper's pit. Gets spammed. That's just horrible to see.
What a rough situation there if you are that Viper. You're like, okay, get pit. I could maybe start doing something here, and then bam. You're just sprayed down through the smoke by a Vandal of all things. And now you are just... I mean, you don't even really think of yourselves as in the game anymore. I don't know if mentally they are prepared for this.
It's like you start looking at the bracket and doing the math. You know, can we win after losing this game? And Siena certainly still are in it. They are 1-1 so far, so definitely not out of contention just yet. But this dominant a performance, I mean, you know, it's this going to be the story of the day. You can see DePaul just towers above these other teams right now.
Yep. And DePaul looking to just try and get back into those brackets they were eliminated from before. Quarter force out. I think that's kind of. I think that might be just too much to give Ghosty. Like, why are you even giving Ghosty the ability to have the tour de force? Like, that is just.
You hear it fired once, just get out of there. Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, Ghosty.
Vandal is too much already. You know.
Even with a Vandal, exactly. And yeah, there we go. They try to push forward, but Stampede is quickly thinned out. Dinosaur. Not the first time we've seen a shock dart team kill for DePaul after the round is over. And that's going to be Siena switching sides with DePaul. Match point. Siena on the defender side. They need to win 12 rounds in a row first in order to get back into this one.
Is there a single believer? I'm not
we see Pango in all chat saying time to pop off. There's one believer for you.
I don't know if that was completely without cap. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think there was a plethora
choosing to
cap.
believe he was perfectly serious.
I think there was a plethora of cap in that statement there, but DePaul trying to end this cleanly. Look for the 13-0 against Siena, who I believe has beat I believe they beat Quinnipiac, or something of the nature, but like they're not the worst team here, and they are still getting demolished here by DePaul. They're just a level above almost everyone else. Marquette is the only one that's been really trying to challenge them and Marist at full strength, but even then it's not enough. Plant is down, and 5v5 post plant, and I think this might just favor DePaul.
Loki here on the flank. If Loki gets one, the Frenzy does a lot of damage, and actually Pango and Osiu have gotten the kill. Loki's all he needs to do is keep distracting. Here's Dinosaur and Ghosty, though, trading back. 3 versus 3. Aussie with a great little right click there. Has to continue going. There is so much on the line for Aussie right now. 1 kill onto Jelly. Needs 1 more against Ghosty. It's halfway diffused already. Ghosty with 73 HP. Is this going to be the stick? It is! And Ghosty calls the bluff. And DePaul get the 13-0 against Siena College.
Statement win for sure here for DePaul. I mean, how much more statement can you get, right? How much more can you get than that? It is just absolute domination. It is just absolutely too much to deal with here for Siena College.
Yeah, you know, I take your meaning. There's hardly anything to say. You know, the only thing we can say is we're about to see DePaul again up against Marquette. And Marquette is going to be shaking in their boots, that's for sure. But it would be very impressive now to see Marquette even put up a fight against DePaul, who look completely unstoppable. We're going to find out after a break.